So when are you gonna stop thinking and just act? Stop planning and just do it. That's kind of what I'm sitting in at the moment right now. I had to get real with myself. I had to get real with myself. So today is the second day in which I said I was going to do something, and I'm still in the process of doing it. And I genuinely think it should not have taken this long. So one thing I wanted to do was start a financial plan for this year. And I said, okay, so yesterday is my day. I think I gave myself like 4-ish hours to do my financial plan. Did not finish it, went to sleep. Today, I gave myself 3 hours in the morning to finish my financial plan. Did not finish it. I got back from the gym and I sat down and I was like, something's got to give. What's going on? I do know that I have a tendency to underestimate the amount of time it takes to do something. However, there's still the sense of, why is it that I'm not doing what I tell myself I'm going to do? Is there something deeper beyond that? Or is it just a surface level of me just not being good at estimating how much time it takes to do something? So at the gym, I was listening to a book by David Goggins. I'm going to try to get the title so I don't mess it up. It's called Never Finished. And if you know David Goggins, you know his philosophy about hard work and his philosophy about just doing it and like getting tough and like, he's a super like, not really a tough, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. Like he believes in doing the work and like buckling down and like, he's a tough guy. And it's not every time I'm really into that, but I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to this book. I was canceling my Audible subscription because that's what I needed to do for my financial plan. I just had to cut back on things that weren't essential. And I figured it would make more sense to buy a book when I need it than to automatically have a book every single month. Because again, one of my other goals is to be a woman of action and not just consumption. I consume a lot of information and I know a lot of things, but putting it into practice, like the difference between how much I know and how much I've actually put into practice it's really large. So my goal is to not just consume information for the sake of consuming it, but my goal is to actually absorb, practice, reflect on this information, and actually change my life with it. So back to the gym. So I was at the gym and I was listening to the book. I mean, I switched in the middle to My Chemical Romance because, it just revs me up a bit. But at the end, again, I got back to listening to the book and on my ride back home as well. And I realized how much I was letting myself go and like not really giving myself the tough love that I needed. I am capable of more, and I'm kind of giving myself like a participation award. And every now and then, like, it's okay, like not even every now and then, when it's necessary, it's okay to like pull back on yourself and to like, give yourself a little break, give yourself a pat on the back. But there are times where you could have done something and you didn't, and you want to kind of ignore it rather than tackle it. Like why it sounds confrontational, but that's the point. Isn't to confront yourself, it's really just to understand yourself. And that's how I'm approaching all these hiccups that I get on the road. When I don't do what I say I'm going to do, when I lose focus, or when when things don't go as planned, my goal isn't really to attack myself. Like, you said you're going to do this, why didn't you do this? Da, 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 da. My goal isn't to be hard on myself in the way that's unproductive. My goal is to understand myself so that I'm not necessarily operating on these automatic programmings that cause me to act a certain way. So I was like, you know what, Faith, you got to confront this darkness. That's dramatic, but you got to confront this darkness. So I sat down, I closed my eyes, took a couple deep breaths, and I literally talked to myself. I was like, Faith, what's up? Basically, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you complete it what you said you were going to complete? How does this make you feel? And I was just talking to myself. And I realized that like there's parts of myself that exist in this whole, and that sometimes certain parts are the ones that are directing my actions. And I need to get to know these parts better instead of like just kind of generally going based on what the whole seems to say. So I went and I tried to I literally closed my eyes. I took a couple deep breaths and I tried to talk to a particular part. And the words that came up for me were chaos. And there's another word. I wrote it down. Chaos and this is a lot. So chaos and this is a lot. Like those are like the automatic words that came up when I was intentionally directing to myself to talk to inner me. And so what I got from that is that I felt like what I was doing was making me feel chaotic and like this was a lot. And in the past, how I had reacted to things that feel like chaotic and unorganized and like it's a lot is I've pulled back, I've procrastinated, or I just decide to take a nap and forget about it and deal with it tomorrow. So there's been times where I've been so burnt out, and I find that a lot of times my body is protecting me from getting burnt out again, automatically, just because I've been through so many bad experiences with burnout and overwhelm. So in the situation, I realized that there was a little piece of me subconsciously like kind of repeating that same habit of like procrastination and like not really getting things done, because in a weird way it's protecting me from burnout, overwhelm, or like feeling the way I used to feel, because that's a long story. We're not going to go into that. So what I realized is I need a bit of clarity. I need a roadmap, and I had a roadmap, but it wasn't, honestly, in the sense of the way roadmaps go, it really wasn't clear or specific. Not that you need not that I need like a specific roadmap for every single step, but I do need a little bit of clarity. And one thing about projects is a lot of times you think you know what to do, especially with things you've never done before. Now, I've budgeted before, but I've never really done a financial plan, and I've never actually completed a financial audit. So things that are new to you, things that you've never done before, a lot of times you have to account that you're going to run into something that you didn't expect. And one, I didn't account for that. And two, when I do run into something that I don't expect that I have to account for, I need to take a pause. I need to kind of write it down and be like, this is another part of another moving part that I need to account for, instead of just like tackling that moving part, then abandoning my whole thing. I just need more clarity. I need more focus, and I need it. Let me see if I can get the right. And I basically told myself, when I notice that I'm working on multiple things at a time, I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to take stock. I need to see right now, why am I working on so many things at a time? Which one is most important for me to work on right now? And then make a commitment to pull back on those other things. And again, the identity that I am working to embody in this year is someone who is a master at execution, which is why I am filming this video as well, because one thing I have been procrastinating on is this YouTube video. This YouTube channel. And the whole thing is consistency, because I had looked back at my journal and I had seen that a lot of the reason why I didn't quite get where I wanted to get is because I was not consistent, and why I felt regret at the fact that it's been like 3 years and I said I want to start a blog. I didn't start a blog. It had been like I wrote something down in July 2018. Now I chuckle at it because, girl, what? I wrote that I think in 2 years I'll make 150K and blah 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 blah. When you stumble upon all these notes and all these like scribbles of paper where you had verbalized your vision, your excitement, and everything, and then you come back like 1-2 years later, or even a couple months later, like, what? I am nowhere close to that. And you feel that disappointment in yourself just because you don't want to continue to live your life in a way that, 10 years down the line, like, I just felt like if I'm feeling all this regret now, and I've only really been out of college for, we're going on 4 years now, but I've only really been out of college for almost 4 years. And all my plans that I big ideas that I had come up with in this time period, and some of it I came up with in college as well, but all these time, like, it was more so like the last year of college that I started to think outside the box, if that makes sense. All these ideas that I came up with in the last 4 to 5 years, and I haven't done any of them. Like, at the end of the day, planning is cool, but like, it's the doing that matters. And right now I'm starting to ramble just a little bit. So I'm going to take it back just a little bit, but the goal is, one of the things I'm not beating myself up when things go as planned. When things do not go as planned, I am using this as an opportunity to learn more about myself. Faith, how does faith operate? Because all this advice and this productivity advice and all this like healing advice, just all this advice, this is the age of information. All this advice that we see everywhere, we are like, oh my God, I gotta do this. I work for this person. I gotta do this. I gotta work for this person. But I realized certain things just don't work for me. And certain things do work for me. And certain things won't work for you. And certain things will work for you. And everybody is different. But in order to be able to have that filter, you have to better understand yourself. In order to fully have, I think one of my coaches said this, to have self-integrity. I'm about to butcher this. I have my notebook right here. Let me look and see what she said in particular. The only way, okay, the key to consistency is a commitment to self-integrity. And the only way to really have self-integrity is to understand yourself, because self-integrity starts with self. And if you don't understand yourself, and that's what I've been low-key been on this journey for a couple of months now. If you don't understand yourself, then what are you really even doing? So in these moments of resistance, in these moments where I fail, in these moments of confronting the darkness, I use this as an opportunity to learn more about myself and to stop and evaluate myself instead of beating myself up. Like, what is beating myself up really gonna do? Nothing? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not really a tough love type of girl. I'm a come to an understanding kind of girl. So that's how I treat myself. And then make the adjustments. So again, I am a master executor, and that is what I'm doing by recording this video right now. And the goal is to post it with me looking crazy. Look at this. I got my headscarf on. My hair is a mess. Oh God, look at it, stiff. My hair is a bit stiff. The lighting is off. But you know, I took one day of a YouTube course that had to do with just filming. So basically learning how to film, and how even if you use your iPhone, which is what I'm using right now, you can still put out a pretty good looking video, like a cinematic quality video with just your iPhone and a couple of tools. So I mean, I'm just using my iPhone and just like that lamp over there, and these headphones. So I doubt this is a cinematic quality video, but what I did learn is I learned about ISO, I learned about white balance, I learned about frame rate, and things like that. So I'm using my one day of knowledge that I learned, and I'm trying to light and like trying to set the scene for this video properly. I adjusted some of the settings that hopefully it looks better than what it normally would have looked. But the goal is, I'm talking a lot. What I want you to take away from this is you gotta, in these moments where you say you're gonna do something, you didn't do it, don't use that as an opportunity to beat yourself up. Use that as an opportunity to learn about yourself. Use that as an opportunity to learn why you're running away from something. Use that as an opportunity to learn what skills you need to build so that next time it won't happen. What things and barriers and boundaries you need to put in place.